She was really bubbly and full of fun and full of beans and always raring to go and always smiley. Neuroblastoma is cancer of the nerve crest cells. It's predominantly in children under the age of 5. It's very aggressive, it's very fast growing, it relapses very quickly, and it's known as the silent cancer because it masquerades as other childhood symptoms, but all the while it's silently suffocating and taking over their little bodies. Something wasn't right when all 3 kids had had a tummy bug over the weekend, and we all seemed to get better, but Lottie didn't. I took her to the GP and he said to me, "Oh, I want you to take her to the hospital." And as we pulled into the car park, she said, "Mummy, we are going home tonight, aren't we?" We went up for an ultrasound and I laid down next to her because she was really terrified. She was only 2. Then the lady put the probe on her tummy and there was nothing there, it was just black. And then she started measuring this black. And she said, oh, I think the doctor needs to see you. And I said, no, I think you should tell me what you've seen and what you're measuring. And she said to me, "It's a nasty tumour and your daughter more than likely has cancer and I'm very sorry." And that was the moment life changed. The tumour was growing by the hour and you could see her stomach getting bigger and bigger by the hour. After the biopsy, she began to bleed internally. They had 2 of the results back, which showed clearly neuroblastoma. And then I had to tell her brother and sister. So I sat them down and I said, "Lottie has got stage 4 neuroblastoma." And the room just crumbled. It felt like the whole room just crumbled down. And I broke their hearts in that moment. She was 13 hours in surgery. When she came out, I didn't recognise her. She was twice the size in her face that she was when she went in. She was on a ventilator. She was in a medically induced coma. But they'd got 97% of the tumour. It was 7 days before she would speak to me, before I hear her little voice and see her eyes. She had quite a few difficult days and there were lots of bumps in the road and lots of times where we were told, look, she may not come through this. There's a picture where she's in that bed on a ventilator and all I could do was rub her feet because I couldn't even touch her hands because they were too full of wires. And then they put them in her feet and I couldn't touch her feet either. It's very difficult. It shouldn't happen. You live with it every day, but it's only when you actually talk about it. I found out about the Emily Ash Trust when we were first transferred to the Marsden, and that Wednesday was the Emily Ash Trust's Pamper evening. Everybody was so welcoming and so lovely, and we had drinks and nibbles and just generally a chat, and I forgot I was in a playroom in a children's cancer unit. And they've supported us throughout the journey through treatment, and they've been a massive part of making it okay and making good days when lots of the days are bad and scary and lots of the days you want to forget. Then there are days that the Emily Ash Trust have given us that we want to remember forever, and that's the difference that it makes. So Lottie's now in remission, and she's nearly through treatment, and she's doing very, very well. From the moment Lottie was born, Jack absolutely doted on her. He loved to hold her or just kind of sit and watch her, and they've been as thick as thieves all her life, basically.
I'm Jack, I'm Lottie's big brother. I've always loved my little sister. She's what keeps me going at the end of the day, because I don't know what I'd do without her.
Jack was angry with the world, angry that it was his little sister. Why, he used to say to me, but why her? Why not me? He was 15, 5 days after she was diagnosed. He spent his 15th birthday in the hospital with us. He missed an awful lot of his schooling. He didn't have the support from the school to make sure that he was okay and he was coping. Lottie's coming through treatment, but now it seems that Jack is the one that is suffering from the effects of cancer, because he does have emotional baggage that's been left behind from cancer, from seeing Lottie so poorly, from holding sick bowls with me at 2 o'clock in the morning, and whilst it's been very difficult and there were some really rough times, he's also been very supportive. I remember we were going through high dose chemo, and she started throwing up blood through mucositis, and she threw up blood all over him, and he just looked at me and he just went, "Oh well, never mind." Yeah, he's an absolute rock, that boy. So he now deserves the chance of a future that Lottie has.
And she's a bit of an inspiration for me. So yeah, that's me. I love my sister.